Welcome to Hall of Faith channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share, and press the notification button.
David Yonggi Cho, have you ever wondered how a moment of despair can become a turning point in one's life? David Yonggi Cho's story is a testament to this transformative power. Born in 1936 in Busan, South Korea, into a Buddhist family, Cho's early life was marred by poverty and disease. As a teenager, war swept through his homeland, making food and money scarce. Malnutrition and unsanitary conditions led to an enlarged heart and tuberculosis invading his lungs. At the tender age of 17, he was sent home to die. His father, a devout Buddhist, prayed fervently for his son's recovery, but the young Cho had little faith in these prayers, having seen no evidence of them ever being answered. Enter a young Christian woman, a beacon of hope in Cho's darkest hour. She came to his home wishing to share the story of Jesus with the dying teen, but Cho, entrenched in his despair and skepticism, initially rejected her message. He even tried to intimidate her, yet she remained undeterred, returning each day to pray for him. On the fifth day, something within Cho shifted. Perhaps it was her unwavering faith, or the desperation of his situation. Whatever it was, he found himself crying, yearning to know this Jesus who had brought her to his doorstep. The young woman left her Bible with Cho, guiding him to read the New Testament Gospels. In his weakened state, Cho made his way to an American mission, responding to a call that stirred his soul. He accepted Christ, a decision that led to his family renouncing him as an unholy Christian dog. Despite this, Cho found a new family in the form of an American missionary, Louis Richards, who took him in and began to disciple him. This was the awakening of faith within Cho. He experienced a vision of Christ, a profound encounter that filled him with an overwhelming love for the God of his newfound faith. His health improved and his heart and lungs were healed. This marked the beginning of a transformative journey for David Yonggi Cho, a journey that started in the grips of death and led him to a life of faith. What happens when one's belief challenges the existing norms of society? David Yonggi Cho's journey of faith was not a smooth one. His conversion to Christianity brought about a storm within his family, a storm that threatened to shatter the bonds of kinship. His family, steeped in the traditions of Buddhism, could not comprehend his newfound faith. They labeled him an unholy Christian dog, a harsh indictment from those who were supposed to provide love and support. Yet, even amidst this turmoil, a beacon of hope emerged. An American missionary, Louis Richards, welcomed Cho into his home, offering him both shelter and spiritual guidance. Richards extended a hand of fellowship to the isolated young man, nurturing him in the teachings of Christ. He encouraged Cho to keep his gaze fixed on Jesus, to seek healing not just in body, but also in spirit. The power of faith revealed itself in a miraculous manner. As Cho poured out his heart in prayer one night, he had a vision of Christ that filled him with an overwhelming love for the God of his new faith. This love was so powerful, so profound, that it erupted from him in a language he did not understand. This experience, which initially frightened him, was explained by Richards as speaking in tongues, a phenomenon deeply rooted in biblical tradition. And then came the miracle. The young man who was once sent home to die, ravaged by tuberculosis and an enlarged heart, began to show signs of recovery. His lungs, once invaded by disease, were clear. His heart, once swollen and weak, returned to its normal size. His faith had led him to a path of healing, a testament to the transforming power of belief. David Yonggi Cho's life was a testament to the power of faith and the miracles it can bring about. His journey from a dying teenager to a beacon of hope is a story of resilience, courage, and an unshakable belief in the power of faith. It serves as a reminder that when we take a leap of faith, miracles can and do happen. How does one person's belief inspire a community? Let's journey back to 1954 when a young man named Cho, freshly healed and filled with newfound faith, enrolled in the Full Gospel Bible School. Here he immersed himself in the teachings of the Bible, deepened his understanding of his faith, and prepared himself for a life of ministry. 4 years later, in 1958, Cho and his future mother-in-law, Jashil Choi, embarked on a mission that would forever change the landscape of their community and eventually the world. They planted a simple tent in a war-torn, poverty-stricken area outside of Seoul. The setting was humble, with no seats, just straw mats strewn across the ground. But this tent was more than just a makeshift church. It was a beacon of hope in a community that was desperately in need of it. Together, they adopted a unique approach to evangelism. While Choi prayed fervently, Cho preached passionately. His voice echoed over the rooftops, a clarion call to the community. "It's time for church, come to church." And the people responded. They came in droves, drawn in by the message of hope and the promise of a better tomorrow. The humble tent church began to swell with members. In just 3 years, it outgrew its modest beginnings and moved to a 500-seat auditorium in the Soderman area. This was no ordinary church growth. It was a spiritual awakening, a community transformation led by a man whose own life had been radically changed by the gospel. But this was only the beginning. Cho's faith, his commitment to his community, and his innovative approach to evangelism were about to take root in a way that no one could have anticipated. This humble beginning, this simple tent church in a poor neighborhood, was the seed of what would become the largest church in the world. This humble beginning was the seed that would grow into the largest church in the world. What happens when a leader realizes they cannot do it all on their own? Welcome to the 4th chapter of our journey into the life of David Yonggi Cho. In this segment, we'll explore a pivotal moment in his leadership journey, a moment that would forever change the trajectory of his church and the lives of its members. It was the year 1964. The church's growth was monumental, a testament to Cho's relentless dedication and the resonance of his message. But with this rapid expansion came a heavy burden. The young pastor found himself stretched thin, trying to juggle multiple services a day, all while bearing the weight of pastoral responsibilities. It was an unsustainable pace, and it led to a severe breakdown. But in this crisis, Cho found enlightenment. He realized that he could not manage the ministry alone. He needed to share the load, to delegate. And so he turned to the wisdom of the Bible, specifically to Exodus 18. Here he found Jethro's advice to Moses: divide the people into groups and assign leaders to each. This sparked the birth of the cell group system, a revolutionary approach to church leadership. Cho divided his congregation into geographical districts, each further divided into sections. Workers were assigned as pastors over these flocks, acting as shepherds to their own small communities within the larger church body. By 1982, there were 12 districts, each with 10 to 17 sections, overseen by a total of 157 full-time ministers. This innovative structure allowed for more personal connections, fostering a sense of community and belonging among the members. It also relieved Cho of the overwhelming pressure he had been under, enabling him to focus on his pastoral duties without the risk of another breakdown. Cho's adoption of the cell group system was a testament to his wisdom and humility. It was a bold move, a departure from traditional church structures, but it was precisely this innovative approach that allowed his congregation to flourish. Cho's innovative approach to church leadership was a key factor in the exponential growth of his congregation. As we continue our journey, in the next segment we will delve into another pivotal aspect of Cho's ministry, the establishment of Prayer Mountain. Can a place of death become a place of life? In the late 1960s, a piece of land was purchased in Osanri, about 45 minutes north of Seoul. This land, originally intended to serve as a church cemetery, was about to undergo a transformation that would turn it into a beacon of spiritual renewal and fervent prayer. It was here that the story of Prayer Mountain began. At the heart of this transformation was Jashil Choi, the associate pastor and future mother-in-law of David Yonggi Cho. Instead of allowing this place to become a symbol of death and endings, she saw a vision of it as a sanctuary of life and beginnings. Every night she journeyed to Osanri, and under the open sky she began to pray. Her prayers were a testament to her faith and an invitation for others to join in this intimate communion with God, and they did join. At first a handful, then dozens, followed by hundreds and then thousands. People from all walks of life found their way to this humble place, drawn by the power of prayer and the sense of community that was being fostered. As the congregation grew, so did the spiritual energy of the place, turning the once desolate landscape into a vibrant tapestry of faith and devotion. Jashil Choi's nightly trips to Osanri became the seed from which Prayer Mountain sprouted. The transformation of this land mirrored the transformation of the hearts of those who visited. What was once a symbol of death became a symbol of life, a testament to the power of faith and the resilience of the human spirit. Prayer Mountain became a place where believers could come to seek solace, to seek answers, and to seek God. It became a place where the power of collective prayer could be felt, a place where miracles were believed to happen, a place where hope was reborn. Prayer Mountain became a beacon of hope and faith for millions of believers around the world. What impact can one man's faith have on the world? In the case of David Yonggi Cho, the answer is profound and far-reaching. Born into a Buddhist family, Cho's life took an unexpected turn when he discovered Christianity amidst the harsh realities of war-torn Korea. His journey from a dying teenager to a beacon of faith is a testament to the transformative power of belief. Cho's legacy is not just about the numbers, though they are staggering. Yes, he built the world's largest church congregation, starting from a humble tent in a poverty-stricken neighborhood and growing it to house 750,000 members. But more than that, Cho's legacy lies in his unwavering faith, his relentless pursuit of spiritual growth, and his commitment to serving others. He was a trailblazer, a pioneer who used the power of delegation to manage the demands of an ever-growing ministry. He recognized early on that one man could not do it alone, and so he divided his congregation into what we now know as cell groups, each led by a dedicated pastor. This innovative approach not only allowed for more effective pastoral care, but also fostered a sense of community and belonging among members. Cho's influence extended far beyond the boundaries of his church. His teachings and writings have been translated into many languages, touching lives across the globe. He was a constant advocate for prayer and spiritual growth, establishing Prayer Mountain, a place dedicated to intercession and communion with God. But perhaps the most significant part of Cho's legacy is the hope and inspiration he instilled in others. His life story serves as a powerful reminder that no matter the circumstances, faith can provide strength, healing, and a sense of purpose. It is a testament to the power of belief and the potential for transformation that lies within each of us. David Yonggi Cho's journey of faith serves as an inspiration for millions, reminding us all of the limitless power of belief. Have you ever wondered how a small tent church could transform into the world's largest Pentecostal church? It's a story of faith, vision, and relentless drive. When David Yonggi Cho took the helm of a fledgling congregation in a humble tent, he had a vision for something greater, a church that would reach out to the ends of the earth. Under his leadership, the church grew exponentially, becoming a beacon of faith for millions. But it wasn't just about the numbers, it was about impacting lives, bringing hope, and making a difference. Enter the establishment of the church's television ministry. Cho recognized the power of media early on and harnessed it to reach out to those who couldn't physically attend the services. The church's broadcast started reaching millions, spreading the message of faith and hope far and wide. But the church's influence didn't stop there. Cho's vision for the church extended beyond the spiritual. He saw a church that would meet people's needs, both spiritual and physical. The church thus committed itself to social services, providing aid to those in need. From food and clothing drives to disaster relief, the church became a lifeline for many, embodying the very essence of Christ's teachings. Love your neighbor as yourself. The growth of the church is a testament not just to Cho's vision, but also to the power of faith. It's a story that continues to inspire millions, reminding us that with faith, there are no limits to what we can achieve. Every journey to greatness is met with challenges, and David Yonggi Cho's was no exception. From the early days, the church grappled with financial difficulties. The societal opposition was another hurdle. Misunderstandings and prejudice against the Pentecostal faith were widespread. Many saw it as a foreign import, not in line with traditional values. The church found itself on the receiving end of criticism and opposition, but Cho remained undeterred. His faith was his compass, guiding him through the stormiest of seas. He believed in his mission and was willing to face any challenge for it, and face them he did. With nothing more than faith and determination, Cho and his congregation stood up to the challenges. They worked relentlessly, not just to keep the church afloat, but to see it thrive. The financial struggles were overcome through faith-filled prayers and generous donations from the congregation. The societal opposition was met with patience and love. Instead of fighting back, the church focused on showing the true essence of their faith: love, compassion, and service. They let their actions speak louder than their words, and it worked. The church not only survived the challenges, but thrived amidst them. The opposition they faced only strengthened their resolve and fueled their growth. Today, the church stands as a testament to their faith and determination. It's a reminder that no challenge is too great when we have faith. In the words of Cho himself, faith is the strength by which a shattered world shall emerge into the light. The story of David Yonggi Cho and his church is one of challenges faced, battles fought, and triumphs won. It's a story that continues to inspire millions around the world. David Yonggi Cho's journey may have ended, but his legacy continues. The church he built with faith and determination has grown even more after his retirement, spreading its reach beyond the borders of Korea. Today, it stands as one of the largest and most influential churches in the world. Its growth is a testament to Cho's vision and the power of his faith. But the church isn't the only part of Cho's legacy. His teachings and writings continue to inspire and guide millions around the world. His book, The Fourth Dimension, has been translated into numerous languages and has become a cornerstone of Christian literature. It continues to touch lives, transforming them with its message of faith and hope. The church, under the guidance of Cho's successors, continues to serve the community with the same spirit of love and compassion that Cho instilled in its foundation. They continue to spread the message of faith, not just within their congregation, but to the world at large. They carry forward Cho's mission, his dream of a world united by faith and love. As we look back at the life of David Yonggi Cho, we see a man of faith, a man of determination, a man of vision. But most importantly, we see a man who believed in the power of love and compassion and spent his life spreading that message. His legacy is not just the church he built or the books he wrote, but the lives he touched, the hearts he inspired, and the faith he instilled. Cho's legacy is a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of faith, and an inspiration to millions around the world. As we move forward, we carry his legacy with us, continuing his mission and spreading his message of faith and love. Sometimes the darkest hour is just before the dawn. In the midst of his struggles, Cho's health took a turn for the worse. His family, steeped in their Buddhist faith, prayed fervently to Buddha for his recovery. However, the illness seemed relentless, and Cho's condition continued to deteriorate. In the midst of this darkest hour, a beacon of hope shone. An American missionary, Lewis Richards, visited Cho. Richards introduced Cho to a concept that was foreign yet intriguing: healing through faith in Jesus Christ. The idea resonated with the ailing Cho, who found himself drawn to this promise of hope and healing through faith. With nothing to lose and everything to gain, Cho decided to take a leap of faith. He prayed to Jesus Christ, asking for healing and pledging his life to Christ's service if he recovered. Miraculously, Cho's health began to improve. The fever broke, his strength returned, and he found himself on the path to recovery. This miraculous healing was more than just a physical transformation, it was a spiritual awakening. This marked a turning point in Cho's life, setting him on a path of faith and service. He accepted Christ as his Savior, committed to spreading the gospel, and embarked on a journey that would forever change his life and the lives of millions around the world. This was the moment of Cho's miraculous healing and acceptance of Christ, the moment when the dawn broke after the darkest hour. A single seed can grow into a mighty tree. So too did the tent church sprout, its roots digging deep into the community, its branches spreading wide, offering shelter and solace to those in need. The church grew rapidly, and with growth came the need for structure. Cho introduced the cell group system, a home-based, small group ministry that decentralized the church and allowed for more personal interaction and discipleship. This system was instrumental in the church's growth, allowing it to expand exponentially while maintaining its core values of faith, community, and service. The church didn't just grow in numbers, it also grew in influence. Committed to serving its community, the church initiated numerous welfare programs. They provided food, clothing, and medical care for the needy. They offered job training for the unemployed, giving them not just aid, but also hope and dignity. The impact of these programs was profound, transforming lives and revitalizing the community. But the church's influence wasn't limited to its immediate surroundings. Cho's passionate sermons and his teachings on faith and healing resonated with people around the world. He became a leading figure in the global Pentecostal movement, inspiring countless others with his message of faith and hope. David Yonggi Cho's vision and faith transformed a small tent church into a global spiritual powerhouse. His legacy continues to inspire and influence, a testament to the power of faith, vision, and unyielding commitment to service. Every journey has a humble beginning. David Yonggi Cho's story is no exception. Born into a Buddhist family in Busan, Cho's early life was far removed from the spiritual leader he would become. His childhood was marked by the harsh realities of the Korean War, a time of great upheaval and struggle. As a young boy, he witnessed the devastating impact of war, the loss of homes, families torn apart, and the struggle for survival. Amidst this chaos, Cho faced his own battles. His health deteriorated due to malnutrition and unsanitary conditions, laying the groundwork for the trials he would face in his youth. But these hardships were not the end of his story, they were the beginning. These experiences would shape Cho's character, instilling in him a resilience and a faith that would guide him through the challenges ahead. This was the beginning of David Yonggi Cho's journey, a journey that would lead him to become a beacon of faith, inspiring millions with his message of hope and service. From small beginnings come great things. As Cho began to heal, a vision started to form in his heart. A vision to create a sanctuary for those who were lost, hurting, and broken, just like he had been. He believed that the teachings of Christ could provide solace and hope to those who needed it the most. And so the seed of faith was planted. Cho decided to establish a church not in the bustling city of Seoul, but in a poverty-stricken area on the outskirts. A humble tent was erected, a symbol of hope in a place where despair reigned. This was the birth of the tent church. The church started small with only a few members, but word quickly spread about the young preacher who had been healed by his faith in Christ. The congregation began to grow, and so did the impact of the church on the community. The lost found purpose, the hurt found healing, and the broken found restoration. The tent church became a beacon of hope, radiating the love and teachings of Christ in a place that had been shrouded in darkness. The establishment of the tent church was the first step in a journey that would lead Cho and his congregation to unimaginable heights. It was the seed of faith planted in the most unlikely of places that would grow into a ministry that changed lives and shaped the course of Christian faith in Korea. This was the beginning of David Yonggi Cho's mission, a mission fueled by a miraculous healing and a profound belief in the power of prayer and faith. Every sunset brings a new dawn. As David Yonggi Cho stepped down from his position, his successors took up the mantle of his mission. They continued to cultivate the mighty tree that sprouted from the seed Cho had planted. His teachings, deeply rooted in the hearts and minds of the church members, guided them as they navigated the changing landscape of the ministry. The impact of Cho's work extended far beyond the walls of his church. His influence on the Pentecostal movement was not confined to Korea. The ripples of his teachings touched shores near and far, inspiring leaders and congregations across the world. His books and sermons, translated into numerous languages, became a beacon of faith and hope for many. Cho's unique approach to pastoral care and evangelism, his commitment to serving the community, and his unwavering faith shaped the face of global Christianity. His work left an indelible mark on the world, a testament to the power of faith and vision. David Yonggi Cho's journey may have ended, but his legacy continues to inspire millions around the world. His seed of faith has grown into a mighty tree, its branches reaching out to touch the sky, its roots deeply embedded in the fertile ground of love and service. As the sun sets on Cho's era, a new dawn breaks, carrying forward his legacy, his vision, and his faith.
Thank you for watching Hall of Faith. Please subscribe, comment, like, share, and press the notification button.